Hi guys, welcome to another installment of Kelly and Jefferson Watch Their Own Movies. Today we are doing another Perfect Stranger, which is the sequel to The Perfect Stranger. So let's get going. There's our logo. Remember we had the comet?
I know, that looks so weird now.
Before we had the egret. 10 years ago. So this first part is a recapping of the first Perfect Stranger to catch everybody up in case some people watched another Perfect Stranger without watching the Perfect Stranger first, which that's fine, but it'll give us a second.
It's been a while since.
Yeah, it'll give us a second to talk about this. So, Another Perfect Stranger is a sequel to our movie, The Perfect Stranger, and just like The Perfect Stranger was based on a novel by David Gregory, he wrote a sequel novel to Dinner with a Perfect Stranger. This gets a little confusing. But he wrote a second novel that continued that story called A Day with a Perfect Stranger. Well, we didn't have the film rights to that. We didn't have the film rights. Talk a little bit.
Right, Random House had when they did that second book, they tied up the film rights because they didn't want some goobers from Kentucky having it.
Yeah, sorry about that. So anyway, we didn't have the film rights to the second novel, so we were actually in pre-production on Clancy, or pre-production, because we knew Clancy was probably going to do our next movie. The script had been done for a while. But we were on holiday in Bonita Springs, Florida, and I get a call from the book author, David Gregory, and he said, "Hey, Random House let the movie option rights on my second novel expire. Do you want them?" And we were in a restaurant at the time. Remember? And I said, "Hey,
yeah.
Kelly, you want to shoot this? You want to do another movie, another Perfect Stranger movie?" So yeah, even though we had not read the book,
but we knew it'd be good.
We knew it'd be good. So we said, "Yeah, put us down as a yes, and we'll get going on it." So remember, we had to drive to Naples to find a bookstore,
and it was pouring down.
It was pouring down rain, so we leave our meal.
So we were on a quest.
Yeah, and we drove down to Naples, about 30 minutes down the road, and found a bookstore that had one copy. It was pouring down rain, so I got back and went out on the porch and it was a novella. It was a small, it was a short book.
I don't think there's much I could actually say that would convince you that
I went out on the beach and everything. It only took me a couple of days, so I read the whole book. Did you read the book? Do you remember? Did I have you read it?
It's been a long time. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that week, did you read it?
Mm-hmm.
So the way my mind works, I just started getting into how are we going to do this story, because I'll tell you, the original novel was based on the main character, Nick Kaminsky, who was a man, if you keep up. So the second novel, called A Day with a Perfect Stranger, was based on Nick's wife, Maddie. So you got to take in context what we did with the male-female thing. So, I couldn't leave. So I said, well, naturally, this one's going to be about Nikki, the woman. This gets complicated. This is going to be about Nikki, the woman's husband. I guess how we'll do it. So I did it that way, and still some things, because this novel actually was written about a woman, because it was Nick's wife. So I said, I really don't want to. I want to kind of keep all his womanhood themes in there that David Gregory wrote in there. I said, so how can I make the main character still a woman and not mess with things? So I came up with two alternatives. I came up with Nikki's daughter.
I have too.
Because we established she had a daughter in the first one. I said, well, maybe the daughter, it's a few years afterwards, 10 years afterwards, and the daughter can be grown up. And so I did that. I wrote a complete screenplay based on that, I think. Or did I do a treatment? I wrote something while I was still in Florida.
You wrote something.
The other thing I wrote was Nikki's sister, because we established she had a sister in the first Perfect Stranger too. So I said, well, what if we make it about Nikki's sister? Because both of them played off of the fact that someone in the first novel had met Jesus. So that's how we were going to tie it together. Anyway, that's how we came to do this. And David Gregory chose going with the concept of the daughter.
Yeah, so, I think he chose well.
Yeah, we just had to further the story 10 years. So that's what brought us to, we wrote Another Perfect Stranger based on the novel A Day with a Perfect Stranger this morning. So
perfect timing.
Yeah.
And we're going to see Sarah.
So our other one, we did 10 years, and this is this morning. So So welcome to Dinner with Kelly's Filmworks presents. We did this. This was solo. A Kelly's Filmworks production of. So you're looking at Ruby Lewis, our main actress.
Yay.
Shane still directed with me here. It was fun doing all the callbacks to the first movie. We had a picture of Stella from the first movie, which would have been a younger version of Ruby, with her art, with her blue ribbon art. So it was fun doing all the callbacks to the first movie. What can I tell you about this? We shot a lot of this in Louisville, Kentucky again. Part of it we shot in Indiana, and you'll see why in a little bit. This was Ruby Lewis's first movie, and Ruby is famous now.
Oh, she's done
She has done Broadway. She's done one-woman show. She has a standing show in Las Vegas. She's been on Broadway. She had a musical.
I was gonna say, because if you don't know, she can sing and dance.
Yes, she is a singer.
She's amazing.
When we found her, my mother actually suggested her to me. She knew Ruby's mother, and Ruby was a musical theater student at.
We like our musical theater girls.
At Western Kentucky University. And so
Ruby is also blonde.
Yeah, Ruby is also blonde. We had to make Ruby look like Stella. So anyway, but Ruby, she went on to have a great career. Right after she graduated college, she toured with a Broadway tour in Thoroughly Modern Millie.
Was that what I knew she did?
And then I think she did a tour with Grease, and
she's played Marilyn Monroe.
She's done television. She's been on Desperate Housewives. She had a recurring on that. So she's really, we got her at the beginning, but this was her first on-camera role. So, and she's a sweetheart. She and I are from the same hometown. If you haven't figured out, I did know. Of course, her mother's older than me, but I did know her mother, when I was growing up, and that was before Ruby came along. But she was just precious. We were so lucky to get her, and she really made this.
Has there been any word yet on my
Because again, all we had to go on was Stella, who she was a little girl in it. So as far as building the character, we said, okay, let's go someplace with it. So I chose to make her an artist, so that her story was going to be kind of based around her artwork. And I'm not sure if that was in a novel or not. But it's a whole reason here that she is taking this trip to go check out an art school on the West Coast, because we're still in Chicago here. We shot this at a friend's house. I think that's John Howard's mother's house.
Yes, it is. She was very.
So we shot part of this in Louisville. We shot on location in Chicago. Actually, remember? We actually shot that at Midway Airport. You're not supposed to, but this is Louisville Airport, so we were mixing all of our pictures together. This is outside. We had permission to shoot at the airport in Louisville, Kentucky, which post 9/11, that was not easy to do.
That was a big deal
to get those permits. So we're eternally grateful. So this is still Louisville Airport. We would just jump out there with our cameras and shoot B-roll. We're on a really long lens here. That's why a lot of people are out of focus. Those are two real stewardesses, or airline attendants, we made friends with, and they were actually on the payroll. We actually paid them as extras. Now, we didn't bring Pamela Brumley back. That is a body double for Pamela Brumley and for Dennis Martin.
Right.
That's it. Shane wanted to bring him in and stuff, and at the time, Pamela was only 24, so we would have had to have aged her, and sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. So I said, let's just move on for it,
Especially for one little shot.
Yeah. So we had an actress that had brunette curly hair, friend. We said we just need the back of your head. So
that'll work.
I think we may have shot some. That's in Chicago, where when I was in the airport in Chicago, we just kind of had the camera on all the time, just grabbing B-roll and busyness. So this is back in Louisville. This gets confusing. I think we even shot some in Lexington. There's a little regional airport up there. I think we got some shots up there.
Louisville. Anytime you see Ruby, it's in Louisville.
Yeah, Ruby did not go to Chicago with us to do, or Portland to do that. It's just movie magic, the way,
The way you can intertwine.
You pay as little for the expensive shots, and you really capitalize on the shots that aren't quite as budget unfriendly. Produced by Gina Hughes. But Louisville Airport, they actually gave us a wing that was not in use. I think it was brand new, so this was nice. We could make our own lines.
These are all our
The
people.
rest of the busy airport is way on the other side. There's Cassie Arzo, our producer.
Got my ATM card.
Jerry Wallace.
Jerry Wallace, yeah.
Mom, I will.
Yeah, if you're in the crew, you are
I
also
said I will.
considered
Okay, look,
cast
I'm at
with
the
Kelly's
ticket counter, so I
Filmworks.
gotta go. I'll call you when I land.
So yeah.
Yeah,
Only thing,
me
we
too.
got a flip phone there. We used more cell phones in this one than we did the first. I don't think we used any cell phones in the first one, but we had flip phones, so
Yeah.
it's hard to get around that. This was the first time Matt Wallace, who was with us in many films, this is the first one he appeared in. Tina Joe as well.
Chicago people are supposed to fly west in the winter, not
And
the
Tina
spring.
Joe is his wife.
Tina Joe is his wife, because Matt was supposed to play our waiter in the first Perfect Stranger, and didn't work out, so we got him in as soon as we could.
B-17, enjoy the flight.
B-17.
Next.
But yeah, it was really nice, the airport. They really rolled out the red carpet for us. We had to have a lot of extras because now we are in Indiana. We found an airplane at an airplane school up in Vincennes, Indiana. And it's basically used as a classroom. It was sitting inside of a warehouse. And that was our set up in Vincennes. So we had to take the crew, all of our background artists had to come up there, and
Yeah.
so that was a little
big deal.
expensive. But we had to fill the plane. Like before, we were trying to fill a restaurant, and we could kind of be tricky with that and stuff because you could go off to a smaller room. But here, you're seeing almost the entire. We're probably about halfway back, maybe, because out here, in the foreground, that's where the cameras are, and that's where that's where the crew is. So we're about halfway back.
And in case you're wondering, yes, it was very hot.
It was very hot, yeah, because airplanes are only cool when they're running and they have the air conditioner on. So we didn't have that. So, and back then we didn't have the cool LED lights. We were using regular
heavy-duty
movie
stuff.
lights. So that big aluminum can got hot quick. So, oh, here comes another star sighting.
Yes.
What did I do?
Christina Karras.
Oh, Steph. I'm sorry.
Christina
I thought
had
you
gotten it. She is a big time actress now.
Oh yeah. Very nice.
She has done several movies. She was a regular cast member on Law and Order a couple of seasons back.
Right. Which one? Criminal? No.
Whichever, but it was Law and Order, so that's what was cool. So she's big time now. She's worked with Don Cheadle
were room on this religion stuff.
in the Miles Davis movie. So she's big time now. She is an LA actress. This was her first film role. And there is Sierra,
Does it say it's on sale?
who has been a wonderful crew member for us all these years.
I mean, you've
But
always
yeah,
gone
Christina.
to
Yeah, she got in
church.
touch with me after the first Perfect Stranger. She was
To control
in
all
school
my
at the University of
thoughts.
Louisville and said, "I
I got
really
worse after I
liked your
talked to
movie.
you.
I'm an actress and stuff." I said, "Well,
Later
next time we
on,
do a
Mom totally
film,
freaked me out with this
if you're
Jesus
still in town,
thing,
we'll give you a call." And it turned out we got this film.
I better get off here.
Darby
I'll fill you
Duggar.
in later.
We got this film, so I said, "Well, come on. You don't even have to audition." So that's
Yeah, and we shot her in Louisville.
yeah. And then we did another TV show with her, and we did another movie with her. So. Yeah, when we like somebody, if you like us back, we'll work together. That's kind of been the beauty of our little company here. So yeah, so most of our background came from. Oh, that voice of the camera is David Gregory, by the way. Another little Easter egg.
Have you considered the possibility your parents may be right?
So most of our background, didn't they come from Louisville? So it was about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Has it occurred to you that your parents might
that
So-
was a big undertaking.
Yeah, we
for
shot
us.
them out as quick as we could, just so we could get them back home and get them off the meal ticket.
Well,
Tim Kelty, this was
It
his
sounds like your mother
first
and your
movie.
dad found
We had
The only thing my parents
a
have found is an
flake
excuse to run my
that was
life the way
cast
they
in this
want.
role, and he flaked out on us at the last
Listen, I'm
minute.
really not
And
talking about, okay?
so I just said, look,
noticed you were
I
looking for
went
something
to my
to
friend
read.
Matt, who
One part of my life.
No,
works in
thanks. I want
theater
to
in
finish
Louisville. I said,
my-
I need somebody
Sky shopping.
mild mannered to play his part. He said, oh, how about Tim Kelty? And that was the greatest find we've ever had. Tim, how many movies has Tim been
Oh
in for
gosh,
us?
so many.
He's
You
just-
all saw him. I mean, he looks so different.
He's
in every
our
one.
Raymond Harris. He is our utility bag. It's like, Tim, can you play a drug dealer? Yes, no problem. Tim, can you play a surgeon? Yes, no
No, I'm
problem.
not into religion.
Loved
I'm
him.
talking about
Oh, he's
religion.
great.
I'm talking
Yeah.
about a
And
relationship.
the nicest guy.
You're talking about God. That's
So
religion.
getting into the story a little
I'm
bit,
talking about
it's Nikki's
knowing
daughter.
the
She's
person.
had a blowout with her mother
Whatever.
over something. She can't get away from her, and she's
Do you
taken this
even believe in God?
opportunity to
No, I
go
don't
out
think I do.
go check a college
You don't think
out
he exists at all?
west, an art school,
Who knows?
and
Let's just say he does.
she's using
So
this as
what
an
we're
excuse
talking
to
about is reality, not religion,
to get out of the
right?
house for a
Like
while.
I said, anything that has to do with God is religion. I
And
don't want any part of it.
we're kind of getting,
Okay.
we're kind of seeing what
Yes, it
triggers
is.
her here. That you've got
you
a
died tonight,
Bible thumper
do you know
sitting
where
next
you'd
to
go?
her.
And you're trapped.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
God.
It's just that I
and
hate to
Tim
see you
and Tim
throw
does a
life
great
away at
job
such a
with
young
it too.
age.
Look, sir. I don't mean to be rude, but you don't know anything
As far as
about
the
me
airplane
or my
goes,
life.
I guess we had to
I'm still
suspend
trying to
disbelief a
cram
little
the
bit
leaves
because
down
of the
my throat,
sound,
just
because of
like
course
my
it was
parents.
silent in there for our
Excuse me.
microphones. And we've got daylight balanced lights on the outside of the, they were just up on light stand shining in the window, so it would give the appearance that the plane was in flight and stuff. And then we piped in the airplane sounds over the clean dialogue. I think I actually shot that out of a moving plane, that B-roll. Back then we didn't have access to all this great stock footage, so if you wanted B-roll, you went out and got it.
Yeah, you're not just looking for it online. And again, just like at the restaurant, we've got all these great background people who have to pretend to be in their own little world. And
Yeah. Oh, there's Jenny. We love Jenny. Holding a little baby. Love white-haired Jenny. And Darby Duggar there. So it was different. I mean, as far as shooting, we were using a really small camera because we had no room. And luckily we had a very skinny DP that we could get him in between seats and whatnot. But yeah, it was so hot. It was so hot in there. Like I said,
I'm
you've got
sorry,
a
I
big
made you
tin
mad.
can, and
It's just that
I
I
think
have
we
a
opened the
niche
doors and
religion.
windows, but
It's
that
alright.
just isn't. And we had some fans in there, so in between
we like crank the fans.
yeah, hit those fans and stuff. But we were
try.
going through the powder.
Cause like Ruby's got on jeans and a
Oh, yeah,
sweater.
and
I mean,
remember-
it's a light sweater, but still.
I remember Ruby told us before it all started. She said, "I've got to be honest with you. I sweat a lot. I sweat like a man." And so we were constantly having a hose down.
Oh, Chloe.
This little actress coming up was actually our worship leader's daughter, Chloe Allen.
Oh, she couldn't have been any better. She was so
And
sweet.
of course, she came up from Louisville, and we had auditions with her. And I think in the special features on the DVD, you can see Chloe's audition. But yeah, just because there's
How's that?
there's obviously the character. If you saw the first Perfect Stranger, you recognize the blonde-haired guy.
Tea time.
Tea time.
But I just kind of want to get him established as being this compassionate person, right off the bat.
draw one up?
Who doesn't draw pictures with a little kid and,
All right, for her to
and
see
make
that.
and have a raspberry fight, with it. So that's how we came up with that. So yeah, we're trying to build that kinship a little bit, trying to move it forward a little bit, that she knows he's safe and he's
Tea time's all
okay.
ready
And
for a ride now. All it needs is your
but
name.
adorable little Chloe. She did one more movie with us while she was still a kidlet.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, Courtney.
Bye.
Bye now.
So yeah. So that kind of gets us into it. So we kind of give them a reason to kind of start talking and bring some things out, because now the audience knows who he is. She doesn't know who he is, and I really wanted to change the look up. I wanted to do I didn't want to just make Perfect Stranger goes on an airplane, again.
Right.
Portland.
Well, yeah, to show
family
that he's
No, I
everywhere,
applied to the
so you
Art
don't know
Institute
what
out
he's
there, and I'm
gonna.
gonna check it out.
So I'd started to let my hair grow out after
But you're still
Perfect
planning to
Stranger
see
was
it.
over. It was really short. So I'd started letting it grow
Said it was
out
alright.
anyway.
And it's worth spending
And
all our babysitting
I said, well, let's
money on
just
a
kind
chance
of
to get away from
make the
home for a
look
few
really
days.
different and stuff. So I think that's a perm, right?
It's a fun job.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got a perm and stuff. I said, let's put on a a little bit of 5 o'clock shadow there, just because I look so much like an accountant in the
Right.
first one. So in this one, I
What was it
I
she
just
said that she said
looked like he
something
worked at Merrill Lynch,
Right.
yeah. So in this one, I wanted to mix it up. But as far as the actual costume goes, I was watching before we got to the costuming phase on
probably a
this.
little
I was
testy.
watching X-Men: Last Stand, And that's a costume that Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, he wore in a couple of scenes there. I said, that's just a good look. It's an open shirt. You got a tank top on and jeans. So
Big trouble.
color for color,
And I have no idea how
thread for
many
thread.
of
I'm
those-
wearing.
It's good enough for Hugh Jackman.
I'm wearing Hugh Jackman's
Because I've
costume in
always
X-Men:
gotten along
Last
so well with
Stand.
my mom and dad. And then
And plus,
rather
we
than
were
ready to
thinking
choose
you
a
want to
college,
have
they
something that
to
you
ruin
kind of
everything
connect with
this
someone younger and not look
forced
like,
Right, yeah.
you know,
Yeah, she's an,
somebody stuffy and
she's
stuff.
an
You want to be
artist.
more relaxed. Yeah.
and we dressed her
We
that
started
way
going
and
to church
stuff.
when I was like 10, but it was always fun, you know. Things
Remember,
that
you and I
Sunday school
personally
church can't.
Purchased her.
Even
We sure did.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
you, there was we had a costumer on this, but
you
we said
never
I
went
want
into
to have my hands on. So we went.
I guess
We
I just
actually
never
I
took
went
that
to a mall.
seriously.
I went to a actual
praying
mall.
before meals.
Both of us did. And I shopped in women's
And I always
clothing.
thought mom and dad felt the same way.
Her outfit. I just thought it was hip. You
And
know,
did
it
a
was,
great job.
it was bell bottoms. And it was
Last
like a
night we
low
were
slung
sitting around
belt
the
and
dinner
stuff.
table.
And
And
Oh
somehow
yeah,
the
she wanted those
conversation
jeans,
turned to
which of
those
course we
beliefs.
let her have.
but again, the big
God
thing
and
is
yada,
Ruby
yada.
is her hair is almost
I
white
told Mom
blonde
Dad
and
that
she
I
has
didn't
blue
really think
eyes.
that God
So
existed.
I said, "You are beautiful. Now we're gonna
Well, you
change
say
everything about
I
you."
don't
So,
know, it just came
so
out.
she's
She
wearing.
was a great sport about it.
Yeah.
She's like, sure.
We dyed her hair really
And
dark.
she even, somebody in her family got married during
really
this.
big
So
right
she actually
Right.
has pictures,
Yeah, I mean,
you know, wedding
Bible
pictures
stories
where
were
she
alright when I was a
doesn't
little
look
kid,
like herself.
but
I mean,
Yeah,
and
she
it-
did.
She didn't care.
And the more
Yeah,
I
she went
read,
straight to doing
the
it.
idea of
Yeah,
big
so in the
guy
wedding
watching
picture,
us from a
but
cloud
she didn't have the blue eye. She had blue eyes. She
didn't.
didn't wear the contacts for the
Oh,
wedding,
yeah.
but she's wearing brown contacts.
Too well with mom and dad.
And
You should have
yeah,
seen
she was so
the
great about all of it.
faces.
And she's a theater
They had
actor,
this
so
big
this
thing,
if you watched
Simon
our
Cowell got
last
mad, and they got
installment
dramatic about it.
about
Turned into a
Pamela and
huge
I being able to
fight.
do long runs because
Really
it
hidden
was
where they lived, huh?
because it was
Yeah.
you know we're
I mean, they've
theater
always
trained. It was
encouraged
the same
me to
thing
think
with
myself.
Ruby.
Have a
I
reason to
knew
believe things,
it was a good because we did read a couple of other girls
I guess.
that were pretty good, but
That's not the worst part.
Ruby was theater, and so I
It's
kind of
worse.
knew okay the dialogue cadences are similar to the
believe I'm
first
telling
Perfect
somebody this.
Stranger.
This is gonna sound
So
really stupid.
so you know I knew we could
Make
get
that
some
beyond
long
stupid.
passes here again.
Times 1,000.
Now this is when she tells why she had to blow out with her mom.
Must be pretty
This
bad.
It is.
She
Well, after the three of us argued all night, I went to bed. And then when I was almost asleep, Mom comes in the room and closes the door.
talking about Nikki.
And she sits on
Yeah.
my bed and she tells me that she used to feel the same way I did. Like she wasn't so sure that God existed until
She does so great with this line.
Yeah.
Until what?
until the night 10 years ago when she actually sat down to dinner with Jesus at an Italian restaurant in Chicago.
She's like, yep, that actually just came out of my mouth.
That's something you don't hear every day.
So yeah, then
She
of
went
course
on
you know.
saying how that experience
What's he gonna
changed
say?
her
So
life,
yeah.
changed Dad's life too, and suddenly my nice
And again, I don't know how.
who goes to church seemed more like this.
In the novel, it was because it was
Psycho
Nick's
religious
wife.
fanatic.
It played off a little
Seeing the
different
cool
because it was the
space
same thing though.
and
Nick had
better.
told her.
That just added to the
Nick had
tension.
told Maddie, his wife,
that
that he had
Right.
dinner with
being out of
Jesus
the
and
bag
stuff,
trying to go to
and then
school,
you know Maddie said you're nuts,
everything
and
just
so
seemed
you know,
juiced
and then she wanted to get away. You know, she wanted, but
Like,
she,
all
it
she
did
wanted
it
to
did
talk
play
about was
take
Jesus,
the novel did
and how
take
it
place
was
on an
important to her
airplane,
and
so
Dad that I was firm
we
in
carried
my
that
faith
part
before I
out.
went out into the
Tim
world
Kelty is doing
and
such a
stuff.
great job because he had to be asleep for
In less than
such.
12
I mean,
hours, my
That's a lot
relationship
that
harder
is
than you
a
think.
lot.
It
Yeah,
really is.
I don't think he wakes up till the end of the flight.
Religion always messes everything.
So
up.
yeah, so
I
you're a
hate
great
religion.
actor. Now fall asleep. That was something big, you know. Someone we know the character is Jesus. He just made a statement. I hate religion, and that's something that really gets people talking, because it's like, well, Jesus is religion, right? I thought Jesus, you know, that's everything.
So why do
Just
you hate
like
religion?
you know,
Well, don't you?
but that's
Well, I'm
such
just
a
saying
good
people
discussion.
Don't have a right to believe what they want. I'm just saying
because,
it's not for me. You're the one who
um,
actually said you didn't like it.
people will tell you that religion is a term. It's got a
keeps
bad
people from living our lives
it's got a
with remorse.
bad connection
some people
for a
feel
lot
guilty
of
about things
people.
they
And
shouldn't feel
again,
guilty about.
with our movies,
Other
we've
people
really
worry about
tried
things they shouldn't worry
to
about.
stay
I
away from
know.
any
There's people
buzzwords
who
that might
say
turn
uptight.
somebody off. That might
He spends so
be able to
much
hear a few
time and
answers.
energy trying to appease
So
his higher
religion
power
is
and
religion and
all
religious
wasted
is something we
effort.
definitely see. You know, religious
focus on
religious
food
is.
and
I mean,
porn.
I'm religious about my
Sometimes
nutrition.
you do.
I don't. You know, I don't eat ice cream after 12. I do that religiously. So that's what religious. But
or for what they wear.
and this is, you know, my friend Kim Bishop told me this several
like that
years
happen
ago,
all
and she
over
said,
the
you know,
world.
at its root word,
It seems like
religion,
American Christians
the
have
word
a
religion
special
means
set
to
of
bind
rules.
up.
Like
And
no movies, no dancing.
she tells me, and we
No
agree, that
alcohol.
Jesus,
I
you know,
have
a
a
relationship
friend
with
who's
Jesus
not
does
one
just the
who likes
opposite. it frees you. It does not bind you up. It frees you, but somehow religion got tied up with the whole concept of faith in Jesus, and that's why it gets a bad rap. It's like, oh, she's really religious. Well, that nobody ever says that in a good way. So anyway,
get beaten because they don't have everything covered.
That's so evil.
The men are afraid the women will make them lust.
and he's kind of giving his explanations of why he.
You could dress a
Why
woman
he
in
doesn't like
concrete
religion.
blocks and men would still find a way to
And it's something else with these Perfect Stranger movies, but I guess we've already done one, we've got one more to do, and then we've got the series to do, they're all based on the same concept. And it was something I was a little bit never super comfortable putting words in Jesus' mouth, so I almost wish at the beginning of every movie we had put, a placard up that said, okay, what if, because I never felt super comfortable, I know David Greger did first, and I was just repeating what he wrote, but at the same time, it's like, did Jesus really say that about religion? It's like, well, not in so many words, he said something like that, so, at the end of the day, this is fantasy.
And the whole thing is for people to have thought about it.
Yeah, it is fantasy.
We want you to think, we want you to look and read and learn on your own, not to just dissect every little line that's
People claim
in
to
the
be
movie.
one thing.
That's Shanta and Henry, two friends of ours from church.
The self-righteous leaders would only focus on the rules. And then they would lay these rules on the people who would feel guilty when they couldn't keep them well enough.
Yeah, here.
Where did you grow up?
A little town in the east.
We
I
have,
love
we
those
have
kind
quite
of
a few of
things. Yeah,
those.
those are fun.
Like that.
Water?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's what we get to show off.
क्या मैंने तुम्हें नहीं बताया दूसरों की बात नहीं सुनना चाहिए
ठीक है मुझे कोई तकलीफ नहीं है
Okay, what
I like
Jess
his look.
Language is that?
what Yes just said was it's okay. It's okay. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. So I do not speak
So you
Hindi.
speak Kokatian?
I went to Shanta, who of course they're both Hindi, and I said, okay, Shanta, here's what I need to say, and boy, I need to say it in as few words as possible, and
So I
it's
can be
easy
convincing.
because I did something one time.
Well-meaning people get all distorted by it.
I did something one time where I spoke.
Like how?
I think that I did a line in Korean, and afterwards, I said to somebody, I said, did I do it right? They said, yeah, but your accents were all off.
Right.
Your words and your phonetics were right, but your accents were off. So this time I said, I really worked on that one phrase with Shanta, and I said, okay, check my accents. Make sure I want to be authentic. Because what we're selling here is that Jesus knows everybody's language, and he's going to get the accents right. So
Right. So if he
Instead
comes
of making them
across,
more loving,
not know
religion
what he's
actually
saying.
causes them.
yeah, so that was
isolate
really
themselves from people they
really
really care
important
about.
to me.
Stephanie, that's my best friend. She and I had a friend like that. Three of us were real close.
But I've collected up all these different languages. I've come up with all these phrases. So I can't speak any foreign language, but I can do phrases, so I can look like I'm saying them.
And how did that affect the Three
It's not
Stooges?
good.
That's funny. That's what everybody used to call us. Well, after her religious conversion.
So
she
this
didn't
movie was
want
fun
much to do
after
with
we
Stephanie.
established in
She
the
only hung out
first
with our
one.
youth group friends.
You know how humorous it is when he knows something about you and you don't know how he knows it. Before you figure out who he is, the character.
I barely
And,
talked to her our whole senior
Oh,
year.
that's funny. That's what my dad
Yeah,
used
it's
to call
like, oh,
me.
that's funny, yeah.
You're losing your mom the same way.
And a little thing about back in the east,
Well, I mean, I
and
guess.
from a small town back in
What
the
are you,
east.
like a shrink or something?
Here you
More
go.
like a counselor.
Oh, good timing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gosh, I didn't.
That's all right.
Ba-dum-bum.
It's just the thing with your mom seemed like the same situation. That's all.
I guess. I mean, it's one thing to lose a girlfriend. But to lose your family is a whole other thing.
Doesn't
And
sound
she
like you
did
really wanna be on
again.
the other side
This
of
was
it
her
with your
first
mom and dad.
on-camera role. So
Getting accepted
we
to the
talked
Art
about
Institute would be a
doing
dream
theater
come true.
is one thing,
It's
but
something I've always wanted
it's
since I was a little girl.
you have to be subtle in this.
The
Your
way things are
emotions
now,
have
I
got
doubt
to
I'd
be
ever
right
go
on the
for
surface.
anything.
You're not
Except
you're not
like
throwing them
Christmas
out.
when there's no getting out of it. And that's just not the way I ever thought I'd feel
Right.
about
Bless her!
Everything
Oh, bless her!
dinner's
Look
big.
at the background guy bobbing
Yeah.
his head to
All
his
this
ear.
on religion.
Oh, yeah. Just to
I
make
just want
everything
our
kind of
family to
because
see
again,
each
all
other
these
like
people,
we've
just
always
like in a
been.
restaurant, it's
This
like
whole Jesus thing.
most
is
of you are on
crazy.
camera and you got to find something to do for this entire flight while we're talking, and you have to be
Well, evidently,
accurate.
all those years
You know,
you were
you
just
got to do the
playing
same thing every
Consistent.
take.
You have to be
It had
consistent.
to be
He
consistent.
came up with that himself, and we're like, yeah, that's
But
great.
why?
Yeah.
My mom and dad
I
are
mean,
both
I love that he
successful.
came with that in
We've
mind.
never had to worry about money.
I guess their hearts need to be filled.
Because you don't want every single person reading a book or every single person taking a nap.
So I think the overall the first Perfect Stranger, if you had to sum it up, like what kind of messaging did it have? It was about who Jesus is, you know, why he has a relationship with us. That was shot at Chicago Airport. Probably a little illegal. This one is more like why would God want a relationship with us and vice versa. And that's kind of the answers that we get. So we don't do the exact same rehashing of the Perfect Stranger. This one takes a step further. You know, why do we both want that relationship?
Sir, it's time to get up. We landed. Hey!
Take that low hanging
We had to
fruit.
stop and just enjoy that because
had to
it's
enjoy
so cute.
Tim's performance. Oh, he even wakes up good. Look at him.
I enjoyed our conversation.
You know, I overheard earlier with the two
I love
of
that.
you
He
saying
jumps
about
right
religion.
in.
What a shock.
He does it so well. I mean,
Some of
he's
what you
not.
said.
He's supposed to be
Good
annoying,
stuff
but
about religion. I
you don't
mean,
dislike him.
I go to
No.
movies.
He means
Well,
well.
there are
and-
rated ones, of course. Well, except for Passion of the Christ. You saw that?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the bloodiest thing you ever sat through? Anyway, I know some people
That's
get
just the
carried
subtle
away
things you can do with film.
but I think you're wrong.
And I really
when you
thought
say that
long and
religion
hard. How am I
stops
going to
people from
react?
enjoying life.
How's he going to
My
react to someone
experience,
telling him that?
Religious people, Christians I mean, enjoy life the most. I'm not trying to be pushy. I just think the two of you should consider that.
And he's a little bit of a
Hallelujah.
stereotype, but he did a good job with it. He very much humanized
He
it.
means well.
Are you sure?
So yeah, everybody.
Is yours?
Yeah.
Just like being on an airplane, we had to put all the luggage up the top and the whole. This thing really was a.
Only they got to do it about 20 times.
Yeah, they got to do it about 20 times and go through there. So then we have to film her layover because we've got a lot of scenes there. So these are more restaurants, or airport shots that we just kind of scattered around and went through our shot list while we had access to it. But then we knew we were going to set them down in a coffee shop for the layover, and we didn't readily have one. But we go to a very large church in Louisville, Kentucky, and it has an open air coffee shop. It has a big atrium and an open air coffee shop. I said, this looks like something you would see in an airport. How do we make that work? So first thing we had to get permission from our church.
Grande non-fat vanilla latte.
But that is actually the coffee shop at our church, and it's got open walkways and see the people walking. So it looks like an airport, like people always in motion. So
And we are filming this overnight.
yeah, we're doing it overnight, so we didn't mess with church operations. But we had to have enough people to fill the coffee shop, and we had enough people to be, transients going up and down the corridors of the airport.
How about
People
you?
were amazing. We shot this over 2
And even
nights.
we even got there's TVs there that are normally have got sermon stuff or messages. We got them to put flight schedules on there, so if you can zero in, you'll see flights and departures up there. They were so nice to do that, and
Oh yeah, and again, all these people, they came 2 nights in a row.
2 nights in a row, yeah.
Because it took us that long to do it all.
Went to the table, yeah. And these are some of those wonderful people.
Just amazing. They were
And
all
again,
so
everybody is paid. There's no freebies here. So this was an expensive night because people were eating and drinking the entire time, and we were there 2 nights, like you said. Now, as far as the people being the transients, I wish we could show you some of the behind-the-scenes footage because the coffee shop kind of sits in the middle of the atrium, and then the corridors go to the other side. And you can walk behind and in front
Do
of
you
the
mind if I
actual
sit here?
coffee shop area.
Not at
It's
all.
open air. So instead of having one set of people go down one side and another people, we kind of had one group of people and we kind of spread them
How
out.
did you know I went to the bookstore?
They would go down this way, and in the back, when they were off camera, they would change clothes, grab a different kind of suitcases or luggage, and then they would come up the other side, so they would actually appear.
It was so fun.
so-
they were laughing.
So it wasn't like a Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a Tom and Jerry cartoon where the same thing keeps passing by. you know, we said you're going to see different clothing, so they just had clothing stations, and once they got off camera, it would be like a game show. They're pulling these off and
people
give me
would
this,
do
give me
different
that.
things, you know, like don't turn towards the camera, put a hat on, do things so we don't see that it's the same person, just dressed differently.
It's the only bad thing about streaming is you miss out on a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. It's on the DVD, so
They're gonna think this is really dumb,
you know, pay the
especially
$9 and get the
all the
DVD,
religion
or
stuff we
we'll
talked
give you
about on
a
the
discount or
plane.
whatever. But
Well,
just
after
because I think we
talked,
included that
just
shot
started
of just
thinking
the
about
changing
Mom and
area
Dad
where people just
and how
it's like
we
not
started
a.
going to church like all of
I mean,
was
it
fun.
when I
everybody was
10.
wearing shorts and they would pull pants on over their
And
shorts
I
and.
just got thinking, what if
So
really
anyway,
did have some
there's a lot
personal
more
encounter with
on the
God
first
or
on the
Jesus or
first
whoever?
Perfect Stranger we commented
Well, I know
on.
that sounds pretty
There weren't
postal.
very many moving parts.
Not
This
really.
movie was
But you
full
don't
of
even
moving
believe in
parts.
God.
So if you look at those
people walking
look at those
back there.
people
I mean, you
walking
just have to
back.
have so
Look at those
much.
people walking back with those suitcases going up. And who was our AD on
I
this?
did it 20 times.
Was Terry our AD on this one, or Vin?
What do you think?
But anyway, the AD was who was directing all the traffic of
Well,
the
seeing as
background
I'm not
artists
even
back
sure that
there.
there is a God.
And
Are
did an
you saying you
amazing
don't
job.
believe in
Plus,
God?
we've got
I
all the
don't know
people in the
about the
coffee shop.
possibility
They've all
of
got to have. They're all having conversations. They've
I
all
guess I
got
just don't know what to
business.
think.
You know,
So at least
so
it
Food
might
and
be
drinks.
possible.
food and drinks and
Well,
get
yeah,
up
I
when
guess
you
it's
leave and
possible.
come back,
Alright.
and
And
everybody
this
Let's
might
just assume
be
that
4
there
o'clock
is
in the
and go
morning,
from
2
there.
o'clock in the morning.
everybody has a
No.
suitcase and
All right. So if there is a God,
So that's
Do
kind of
you
hard
think it
too
would
when
be
you're
possible for a
filming
person to
and you
actually
have
connect?
some, just a couple nights that are shot all night, but the
No,
rest of
I
it's
don't.
not. Because then
He'd
you
be
got
way
to
too
kind of
big
get
and
yourself
powerful for
Yeah.
people to relate
physically ready to go
It would
back
be
to
like-
normal hours.
to an ant.
of course, I
trying to
personally go
connect
into
us.
such an adrenaline when we're
point.
shooting. I never sleep
But what if we
anyway.
look at it from the other
And
side?
I wonder what everybody else's
mean?
problem
I mean,
is.
God-
That they need all that
Like,
sleep.
could God relate to us?
Let's just go.
more like what he
He doesn't want to sleep or eat. Just
Yeah,
keep
so-
going.
No, it's the same answer.
But this so
If there
it's
is a
so much
God,
work.
he
You
or
you
she
do
or
not
whatever
doubt you were in
could create
an
the whole
airport
universe.
coffee
And we're
shop.
just these little nothings on one little planet.
Dusty
What else could he
Dustin Lash
possibly
was
have
our
for
was our
us?
DP on this and
That's a
our
good
camera
question.
operator.
I mean, don't you think you'd have a lot
Did a
more
great
important
job with
things to
this
do?
shot, and we were using a
Yeah, you
brand new
think so?
camera package, and
What do you think it would be
he
like?
had about
How do you
a
mean?
week to
I mean,
learn it, and he
Would
did a
you just
great
create
job.
everything and then let it go and watch it from a distance, or you
Bill
think he would be
Smith,
like this?
God rest his
this
soul, was
involved
he was our
being
lighting director
who
on this.
thinks
He
and
did a great
feels
job.
love,
We had,
Bill.
just like we did.
had a lot to light. Stuart was
Who
our
knows? I mean,
sound guy
it's-
on this again.
not like he's
Gary
into
Gary
making
Miller,
appearances.
he
Right.
Gary AD'd on us. Yeah, Gary was
I guess
our
the way to
AD.
figure him out would be to go by the
He was our
clues.
first AD.
What
Um,
clues?
So it was the first
Well,
time
for
he worked with
starters,
us, and we would go on to work
What
with
would
him on
we
several
know about
films.
someone who had supposedly
So getting in
created
this
the universe?
conversation, they found themselves at the same
Well,
coffee
you'd have
shop
to
on
be
the
really,
same
really old.
layover. So
But
surprise,
in good
surprise.
Why good shape?
And they're just kind of
You'd have
breaking
to be a million
down.
years old. I doubt
Instead of
you'd
just
age the
saying
same
you're
way as
wrong, there is a
everybody else.
God, and smacking her
So
across the
God would
face, he
be
says,
really old
"What do you
and
think? Do you think there is one?
in
And
good
if there
shape.
was, what would he be like? Let's
Yes.
just break it
You'd
down,
have to be really
and talk
smart.
through it."
Well, to invent things like
And
cells, DNA.
I love that because he did that with Nikki
The
too.
solar
It's
system.
like,
Yeah.
let's
break it down.
I want you to
God
think
would have
about
to be
it.
super intelligent.
And again, she thinks he's, she thinks he's a
Big
counselor. She
Bang
thinks he's like a
really happened.
psychologist.
Right.
He'd have to be the one to make it
Um,
happen and make sure it all worked
So
out.
she's, her guard is down.
So God would have to be really old, really
And
smart.
they just talk about,
really
and
powerful.
it's like when
Or at
you
least
look
as
at things
powerful as
that
the
way, as
universe
opposed to
itself,
somebody
right?
that
Well,
shoves
yeah,
a sign
he's
in your
the one that
face and
created it. He'd have to
says,
Because
if you don't believe the way I do,
shares traits with the creator, right?
we're gonna burn
Yeah,
your
that's a good way
house
to put
down.
it. Kinda like
Nobody's
when
gonna
I
be
make
changed
paintings.
that way.
Good
They might be
analogy.
intimidated, but they're not gonna be changed.
Now,
But
let's take all
breaking
the
things
universe
down
stuff
and saying,
apply
did you
to
think about it
people.
this way? Does that make sense to you? Oh, it
Just
doesn't?
lost me.
Well, what does make? Okay.
Look at it this way.
That
People
goes,
are part of
but
the
it never
universe,
get, it
right?
hardly ever gets
Supposedly the
used,
highest
and
intelligence
that's
on
what
Earth.
turns me people
Well,
off.
most people.
Right.
And that's why I always felt good when people
So just
said,
like God shares traits
your
with the
movie,
universe,
I got the truth
what
from your
human
movie
traits do you
better
think
than I ever
reflect
got it
God?
from a TV preacher or my
you
church.
mind doing
And,
this when
churches
your
were
brain's
supposed to be.
getting a little tired?
But, I had an especially aggressive
if
pastor
people are
that
the highest
was very
form in his
condemning. Or, just
creation,
little, we've heard stories like so
then
many,
it would make
over, after
sense that
20
they
something
resemble who
years,
he is.
we've heard so many stories like
I guess that
this.
sounds logical.
And
So
it just,
things
that always let us know we were on the
like
right track, and that's why we kept
our
making movies.
emotions,
Like we
our
just
ability to
felt a sense
choose.
we're on the right track here.
All of these human characteristics would reflect the God that created them.
The first Perfect Stranger
But wait a
was
minute,
very
most people
successful,
treat each other like
and
dirt.
we were
Are you
very
saying that's
blessed
how
too
God is?
because it really opened the door for the second
It's a
one
tough one.
because it was successful, it was popular. So
But don't these things happen
when you make a
because evil
sequel,
exists in the world? I mean,
which I never even thought
is
about
evil
making
a part
sequels,
of
and we
God?
wound up doing several.
or is it something
When you
that
make a
just went wrong
sequel, you
somewhere?
want to at least have half your audience
I
come
don't
back.
know.
Right.
You want them all
An
come
evil
back, and then you
God
want to
is
add to it,
scary.
which turned out to be
The
the
world is
case
scary
with this
enough as
one.
it is.
So we didn't do theatrical with this one.
Yeah.
We went straight to television. We went straight to cable with this one.
So you're pretty close with your folks, huh?
Streaming wasn't a thing back then, so that was
Well,
off the
up
table.
until
So
last
we
night.
did. We went straight to
You got in
cable
trouble?
and home media right after this, and
Oh,
it
it's
was
amazing
well
how much
received.
things have changed since then.
Yeah, a real recent one.
Another throwback,
We never much liked the family portrait
just
thing.
so we know who we're dealing
Still
with
good
here.
looking family, though.
Thanks.
But I
So what was your
loved all the
relationship
callbacks. As a
like
writer,
grow up?
I love doing all the callbacks with the Chicago stuff.
Well, they've
and,
always been, you know,
you know, going
parents
back to because you
with
remember
rules
what Dennis
and
looked like and what
curfews
kind of a
and
dad he
grounding
looked
me.
like, and you
But they've
remember we
always
spent all
been
that
my
time
friends
with
at the same
Pamela and
Really?
Yeah, I'm an only child, so I've never had to fight for attention with anyone.
Until now.
Right.
So all those are
until
good
now.
reminders, and then if for some
Go on.
reason you
Tell me
haven't
about
seen
it.
the first one, hopefully that'll make you want to go back and see the
Well,
first
Yeah,
one.
it's like
Dad
watching Home
always
Alone
wanted
2
a
and
boy,
then say,
but
oh,
he never let it show.
how'd this kid get in his
We always
house?
loved memorizing the Cubs' batting averages, how many games back they were.
Let's keep those Chicago references.
He
Another
enjoyed seeing me in a
another
button
Kelly's
jersey
Filmworks.
just as much as a prom
What are the
dress.
two staples of a
Probably
Kelly's
so.
Filmworks movie? In every film.
And
Oh, Chicago sports.
nobody
for
could ever
sure.
make
Chicago
me feel
Chicago
safe.
reference. Doesn't have to be
Right.
sports.
So I felt that
Chicago
was with my
reference.
dad.
Okay, excuse me.
And what's the other one?
What about mom?
Do you not know?
Stephanie's been my girlfriend since grade school.
There's a, what is it? There's
Mom.
always
There's always a
there's always a
Kelly.
character
Mom's
named
really
Kelly
been my
in all of
best
our
friend.
movies.
She's
So
a
I don't think
lawyer.
she's come up yet in this one.
And
No,
she's the
she
kind of
won't be
mom
So in the
till
first
that
Perfect
guys in
Stranger
class
was
think
Kelly's
hot.
was Kelly
I've
was
always been
Nikki's
so proud of her and
unseen
wanted to
sister.
be
We only
like
saw her in
her.
a photo.
She's always
And
loved
she was
taking
playing the
me
stewardess in
shopping
this.
and
If you're really paying
telling me how
attention,
pretty I look in her.
the girl in the photo was the stewardess on the
encouraged me in
first
my artwork.
airplane. So
She cries with me when a boy breaks my heart, and she strokes my hair until I fall asleep.
and yeah, this was just like I did on the last installment. I don't remember what I wrote and what I modified and what I just straight out
Like who?
did it verbatim
God.
with what
That's stupid.
with what
Is it?
David Gregory wrote.
Yeah.
But it's
I
like
feel
it's
betrayed.
that thing when you're so mad at somebody,
Maybe a
but then
little
you
jealous.
miss them. You know, there's you create a distance between you and the person you're mad at,
Let's go back to
and
what
if you
you
really
said
love
was a
them, you
perfect
start to miss
relationship
them,
with
and
your folks.
you have that okay.
If there is a
And pretty
God
soon,
who
whatever
created
it
the
was doesn't
universe
seem
and
so
everybody
Yeah.
in it, don't you think it's possible that he would feel the same way about them?
Oh,
as
we've
your
even got
parents
little
do
kids
about
there.
you?
Oh my goodness, a little kid just
Well-
walking. I see
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
back. I see somebody back there in a captain's
Is it
hat.
possible?
I think that's that
that the
same
love
kid.
your
I think
parents
she's
have
really
for you
asleep.
Is
Well,
a
she should
reflection
be.
of
It's
the
in the middle
God
of the
that
night.
created them.
I know. I hope she grew up
I
all
don't know, I
right.
never thought of it that way.
I see
Oh,
Steve
yes,
Ladden
it
back
is.
there. Steve Ladden was
Do
in
you think
a lot
it's
of our
possible
movies.
Oh,
that
yeah.
a
We
person's
signed him
desire
on
to connect with God might actually
for
come
this
from
one.
him?
That's what's been
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that's why
Like,
what
he
we do
placed
has never
a desire
seemed like
within him because he's actually
seemed
the
like
one that
work
wants it.
because, like I said,
You mean like people are
when
designed?
we latch on to somebody, if we
Without
really
him, the
click,
game
which
complete.
happens more times than not, it's like a family thing, and we
I
get
don't know, I
and
guess it's
when we
possible.
come back to do another movie, it's like a family
If that's the
reunion.
case,
'Cause,
Would a person's desire to connect with God be
Excuse me.
nonsense?
I'm not a
Or would
huge,
it make
I'm not a
more
very
sense?
sociable person. I'm a little
Hold on a
introverted,
second. You're starting
but I
to
love
sound like you
working. And I
actually
love
believe in
working with
God.
people. So that is my
I do.
social life.
But on the plane you said you didn't.
No, I said I hated religion.
And here's your
What's
one.
the difference?
That's another. Yeah, I like that
Religion
shot.
I love it.
It
It's
worked
great.
there.
God with
Yeah.
good behavior and rituals. As far
When
as
you're doing the
believing in
tennis
God.
match. It's a great
Of course
shot.
I do.
Yeah.
So let me guess.
I think we repeated on
You
that
do
a
think
couple
it's
on a few
possible for
films.
someone to connect personally with God?
I love that
Yeah.
shot.
Now she
it
feels
is.
like she's been had because
I can't believe I fell for this. You
she
were
just
like
found
the
he
way you
does
see
believe in
that.
God. And she
Worse.
just thought,
Here I am telling you all these personal things about my life, and you're just sitting here, waiting to give me this knowing God pitch.
Look, I wasn't trying to trick you. You said you wanted to figure out where your parents' beliefs were coming from.
I was.
Well, you wouldn't have found out much if I had given you my perspective right off the bat. You would have shut me down just like you did the window seat guy.
So?
which is
So,
true.
And that's just
Look
another
at what
thing
you've
too,
managed to
because
come up
a
with all on
stranger
your
on the
own.
street is not
I
going
just
to
have
listen to
to
you come
form
up and go,
questions.
hey, I think, whatever. You have to have a relationship with
Yeah.
someone,
Or some
Yes, you
common
did
ground,
have a little.
yeah.
right?
I mean, you are a
Something
counselor.
to where
Absolutely.
you would want to hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
And this had better be a free session.
So yeah, we paid for a lot of coffee
Totally
that
free.
night, didn't we?
It's the only way I work.
Cafe 920. I don't know if it is that still the name of the
Alright.
coffee shop in the church.
So even
I
if there
would
are
assume
people
Cafe
so.
920
And
because
the reason I say that is because I
Do
go
all
to
of
the
them
Shelby
hallucinate
County
Yeah.
campus
thinking they've
now
actually sat
instead.
down
Nobody knows
They
what
have
Shelby
different-
County is.
We have
in
different
our audience.
campuses.
I mean, have you ever heard
Anyway,
anyone say
but
that?
yeah, The church was on
It's gonna
920
pop.
You're
Blankenbaker
not saying you think it actually
Parkway, so
happened.
that's why Cafe 920
Only
is on
you
all
can
of them.
decide for yourself if you believe your mom's story or not.
I think we're eating
I'm just
brownies.
trying to help you figure out if her
Again, this
desire for a
one's got so
relationship
many
with God
moving
is
parts. There's so
reasonable.
many
What do you
things to
think it
talk
is?
about all at the
Well,
same
yeah, of
time.
course I
So,
do. But I also can't make up your mind for you.
Yeah, you're right.
and it was a little different. Not that I'm a great actor by any shakes, but
Something you said earlier,
Pamela was a little more
That
seasoned.
people were designed
She was older. I mean,
to have this
for
intimate relationship
all
with God,
intents and
and
purposes.
that's the only way they can be fulfilled.
Ruby's probably 19 in this.
That's not
something?
true.
Like 20,
Really?
19, 20 years old.
So you think
So she
people
just
are
hadn't
completely
been
satisfied with
around
other
as much.
things?
She for sure hadn't
Yeah.
had any cameras.
A lot of
So
people have fulfilled lives that
um,
don't even go to church.
there was a little
Are
bit
you
more
one of them?
guidance on my part.
No. But I'm not
As far
everybody.
as because I was doing the same thing, I was directing
More
the person
everybody than you
across the
think.
table from me. But she did a
Okay.
great job. She
So
did a
I
great
feel
job with her
fulfilled
subtlety.
when I draw, especially
Oh, she
when I
did.
paint.
Yeah, her expressions and timing.
Okay, so you feel fulfilled as an artist,
Yeah, for the most part.
but not as a
I think
daughter.
my background with art, again,
No.
I'm not sure if it's in the
Maybe that
novel or
doesn't
not.
rank too high on the scale.
With my background
Any
in
idea
art,
why that is?
is how I pump
Because
that into the
I
storyline
feel like
and
we're
seeing
from
things through her
different planets.
eyes and things.
Because we're on opposite ends on this God stuff.
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah,
brought
I
up
keep
that thing of
thinking I'm
being
gonna
able to
come home
create.
Find them watching some faith healer on TV, slapping people on the foreheads.
Well, let's say that
And we got into every funny thing that
your artwork is
turns
hanging
people off
somewhere in
about
Paris,
religion. I thought
and
that
everything
was
is all peachy
warranted.
and cool with your folks. Would that
Talked
satisfy
about
you?
seeing the Pope's face in pancake
help.
batter, and
Would
her
the
mom's
deepest
a
part of you
religious
be
nut.
filled?
I'm not sure.
How-
Alright, well,
I
is
guess
that
Karen
next
came up with
next?
that
How
pilot's
about
pilot's costume
Newport?
back there. I don't remember
Penthouse
paying for a
studio in
pilot's
New York
costume, but I guess Karen
Getting
Hackstead, our
You feeling
costumer,
fulfilled?
costume designer.
Yeah,
not
because
sure
that
how
was
to answer
great.
that.
That was a nice ad.
The answer is no.
Everybody else.
You won't be. Because only God can completely fulfill the human heart.
See,
I
I
think we had
don't
some on
believe
crutches
that. I
back
see
there.
happy people
Nice
all the
touch.
time.
Really? Well, how well do you know them?
Wasn't your birthday
They
on
may
one
have
of these?
medieval
Isn't
aspects
this
in
the
their
one that
life,
your
just
birthday
like
was
you.
on and we threw
But
hush
deep
puppies
down, they're
in?
not totally fulfilled.
No,
Believe me, it's
Was
not.
it-
I don't think
all
I've ever
fun
had a
having
birthday on
faces
set
with
before.
people.
I still say you're wrong. Lots
You
of
did.
people
I don't remember anyone
implement
throwing
either
hush puppies
their
at me. I'm
job,
sorry.
or relationships, or causes.
Is that really what you think? Just look at society. Look at the
I
things
remember it was
people
hard
try to fill
keeping.
their
I
lives
remember
with.
I saw what
Things
Don
like
Johnson went through. It was really hard keeping a
sex,
consistent 5 o'clock
food,
shadow over.
work, gambling.
What did
The
we
list
shot?
goes
We
Oh,
shot
over days, yeah.
Didn't we
They
shoot
all
this over
point
about
us to the
30
same
days?
conclusion,
So
that nothing
you would
on
grow
this
out too much or
planet
not a
can
little,
totally
and if you
fulfill
cut
the
too
human
much off,
soul.
then you had to wait. And
Not everybody is addicted to something.
Of course not. But even the positive things
so
don't always fulfill
again,
the
this is
heart.
back in Louisville,
Which ones are you
Kentucky. So
talking
we shot all of
Payment.
this stuff
Things
before
like
because we finished up
parenting and happy
with the airplanes
marriages,
up in Indiana.
philanthropy,
So
public
Yeah,
service.
how long were we there?
So at
like,
this
did we
point-
shoot there like
Put it
2
into their
days?
lives. They
on the
still
airplane,
can't totally
I think we
fulfill.
were there like 4 days
How do you know
altogether.
that?
Well, for starters, they tell me.
So yeah, this is all
They do
ahead.
the same
So
thing to
we
other people.
in the story we
But
haven't
always
had
listed
this
as
conversation.
Why is
We
that
haven't
just
been on
because
the
you're a
airplane
counselor?
yet.
I guess
So
it has something to do with it.
any reference we make
What
to the
exactly did they
airplane
say?
now, we're just having to imagine it
They
because we
say
haven't shot
that-
those scenes yet.
The good experiences they've had.
We
just weren't
rehearsed.
enough.
We rehearsed a
They
little bit
lived
on
a
this
good
one, not
life,
as
but
much as
deep
Pamela
down
and
there
I
was still
did.
this
I think.
emptiness in their heart.
I think with the first Perfect Stranger, I kind
How
of
do you
hit a
explain it?
balance of
Well, it's
this
fairly
much
simple.
rehearsal is needed and this much was
How
too
in the world
much.
is your
So,
heart going to be fulfilled by something or someone that's just as
Ruby and
finite
I
and imperfect
think
as
we
you are?
rehearsed maybe 2 or 3 days,
never
but
thought
it
of
was intense and stuff, and it was a lot of it was for blocking because it's just so much dialogue.
Maybe what makes them different is the fact that they
Just have time to
realize
work
that there
that
has to be
stuff out,
something
yeah.
more, something
Because
bigger
again,
that
guys, when you're
goes
doing
beyond
something, it's
the
a long
realm of
stretch.
the
You got to
logic
do
of
it the
the
same way
physical
over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So if you haven't rehearsed it, you got to get that
Oh yeah,
in
see
your
how
head.
see how little many bites and drinks
Just
I
a
took
whole
during
day.
this one. It's like
I just want you
I
to
learned my
be
lesson. I
normal
told Ruby the
and
same
happy.
thing. Yeah.
That's just one
Yeah,
problem.
you
with
don't
that.
wanna
Unless,
take
unless you
that.
want the
Probably.
editor to hunt
Thanks.
you down
That's just
6
what I
months
needed
from
to
now,
hear.
keep it
Life
to a
is what
minimum.
it is, kiddo. Even if
I'm
a few
thinking
things
about
brighten up
shoving
for
food
today,
in
tomorrow
and
may
being
still come with
sick
its
by
own
the
set
end of
of
the scene.
stress and disappointment. Or worse, you might lose a friend, or a family member, or even your own health.
Sure.
Yeah, we.
I know these things
she had
could
a
happen,
dress.
but
Her
you
dressing
can't
room
go
was
around
upstairs
basing
on the
your life
second
on the
floor. I think that's where
possibility that
mine
these things
was as
might come
well.
true.
But
Possibility.
again, we got into this.
Most
You know,
of
the
these things
time is money thing. I think we had a photographer there, so during downtime or
that there's one thing that no
you
one
know,
can ever
when
take
we
away
weren't
from
shooting,
you.
we actually had a backdrop
And
set
once
up
you find
in a
yourself
side
there,
room where we were shooting stills
never lose
because
it.
we knew after we were done shooting, Ruby was leaving for her sister's wedding in Hawaii. So
What's your hurry?
Our flight's getting ready to board.
So we actually had a backdrop on there. So during downtime, Ruby and I would go up there and shoot, photos, publicity photos, like for artwork, for the poster and the DVD box and everything else.
Wait, you're going to Portland too?
Yeah. Do you need help with your bag?
Oh, look at that. You're going to Portland too?
No, I got it.
Yeah, her destination, I don't know if we made that clear, her destination is Portland, or from Chicago to Portland, Oregon. That's a shot we got at Midway Airport. I don't think you're supposed to do that.
I still haven't figured out how you knew the plane was boarding.
But on this, we couldn't have the exact same passengers, so we had to swap everything out.
Oh yeah, because they couldn't all be having the same flight
there
schedule.
maybe one or two, but for the most part, the rest of us, we had to
Only
restock.
people.
Same airplane, a bunch of different people. There's John Howard sitting right behind us. Another good friend. We could have one or two, but for the most part, we had to turn the whole cast here, and we had to move the other side of the plane. So.
Oh, come on.
Wow, that's back in the old days of plane tickets. I mean,
What?
Oh.
That dates us too. Yeah, now it would be on.
Yeah, that's on your phone.
Now it would be on your phone.
2
Yeah.
flights in a row?
Not really.
See, look at all the new faces back there.
All the new faces
We've
back
discussed
there. Yeah.
my family,
But it was still
my
just as
personal
hot.
life, and the meaning
Oh
of the
yeah,
universe.
unfortunately it was still hot.
Yeah.
And there's probably
And we
still
haven't
about
even
the
met
same
yet.
amount of pages.
No,
I'd
we
say.
haven't.
I think the plane trip was
Sarah.
cut right in the
Thanks.
middle. Dial,
You can call me
pages
Oh, as far as
wise.
the
Yeah.
Uh-huh. It's Hebrew.
What, is one of your parents Jewish or something?
Uh-huh.
Well,
I
hi,
definitely know I
nice
wrote
to
that
meet
one.
you.
It's right here.
I pat myself on the back for being so
Do
funny.
you live in Portland?
That
I
was-
definitely know I wrote that
Local
one.
business.
It was
What kind
good.
of
I like
business?
it.
My father and I run a management operation.
What do you manage?
Pretty much everything.
That's a great line too.
You're not big
Yeah.
on specifics, are you?
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
because in the first Perfect Stranger, right up, there's right up
What,
until
you did that on the
almost
side?
the end.
No, it's a
Is
part
he?
of the
It's kind of
operation.
is he or isn't he? Here, if you saw the first movie, you're clued out as Melissa Sherritt. Got to do the
She was so cute.
got to do the airline thing. She had a ball. She was like doing art. She was our art director on this. We brought her up. So in the first movie, right up almost to the end, is he or isn't he?
Is he?
But in this one, we take it for granted the audience knows who he is, so we can throw Easter eggs out and little one-liners like there that
Some of my
Sarah
favorite
doesn't
words.
get, but the audience
Yeah, and hopefully
does.
people are
Mostly poetry.
getting a kick out of it.
Poetry.
Going, oh,
You
she
write
doesn't
poetry?
see it.
Actually, somebody else wrote it.
Can I see it?
Good-looking cast. I think I've got
Have
a
you ever
model.
read
I think
Three
literally
Books?
she is a model. I
A
think she
little.
went into modeling after this. The girl sitting behind me.
I have loved you with a love that never ends. Though the mountains must be shaken and the hills be removed, yet my unfailing love for you will
So it's
not
almost
be
like
shaken.
a three-legged
How
stool.
could I
The
live
first
with
when they kind of
My
met, found
heart
out
is
they had a
turned
few
over
things in
within
common.
me.
Then they
Is this
had an
stuff?
argument at the coffee shop, and then made up,
My
and
father.
then got
kidding.
to another,
What did he write it
got
for?
got good again. Now they're
For a
on
relationship
the
he
last
had.
leg, and they're very
When he desperately wanted
conversational
back.
and
Wow.
okay with
You
sharing,
must have been head over heels in love.
with telling each
It's an
other about
understatement.
themselves and their lives.
As a matter of fact, it's the exact same way that God wants to love you.
So tell me why I don't feel loved by him.
So it's great. I mean, she's
can't
at least
really hear
not
his voice
totally
when-
turned off
Nobody can at first.
to discuss
Yeah,
things, but
like
she's
that.
not giving a
Because
break.
people
She's
turn their
kind
back
of like
on
her
God.
mother. She's like, prove it.
They've been
you know,
deaf
prove
to his
it.
Yeah.
voice
Prove
ever
it.
since.
How do you know he
No,
loves
no,
me?
no.
Yeah.
It's just a little too convenient. You say we're all deaf to God. I say that's proof he doesn't exist.
Oh, they're not entirely deaf to him. They can hear his voice, but just not as clearly as if they were connected with him.
For example?
For example,
Who else was on this? Cassie Simon
first
was
time your
our
mom and dad
makeup
laid eyes
artist
on you.
once again.
and they couldn't believe they could love anything so much. That was God speaking.
I think
When you
Terry
stand at the
Swan
edge of
worked
Lake
with us. Gina
Michigan,
Hughes worked
And
with
you
us.
feel so
producing.
small next to something so big, and you just know that there has to be something. greater
Gary
than
Miller was
yourself.
our first AD.
That's God speaking again.
Terry Swan was our second AD and
when you
banded a
snap
little
at
bit
your mom,
for us. Dustin
later on,
Lash was
guilty.
our
And
That's
Stu
God
was our
again.
sound guy.
Stewart was our sound
Speaking
guy.
to your
Yeah.
conscience.
The same old family
It
crew.
is.
We kept that together.
Because deep down, you know.
Wow,
you
we
want
kept
it to be that,
that
way.
group together, that core group, long time.
Even if that's
Especially
true, I can't help how I feel sometimes.
especially about
I
today's
know.
standards.
I'm just telling you what it's like.
And
And
then
then some of them got more
Give me a
successful
small
and
glimpse of
started
Yeah,
their
started
own
own companies,
their own
yeah, I mean,
companies and
Well, how
And we
good
go out
can
and
that
find
be?
some new
Seems like a
talent.
conversation with God would be class A boring.
Boring. Believe me, Sarah, God.
It was kind of
boring.
neat too in between times
He's the
because
one you
Ruby
can
and I
get your
came from the
greatest joy
same
and pleasure
small
from.
hometown exactly. So
Pleasure from
we
God.
actually
Give me a
had, believe it or
break.
not, we had a lot of the same
I mean, I can
teachers.
understand why people would
Career
want to
high
be
school
God,
teachers. So
but
Have you ever
Like,
heard a hypothetical
our
question?
Yeah.
If you could hang out with anybody from history, who would it be?
oh yeah.
Well, what if you could sit down with one who actually carved out the Grand Canyon?
So at this point, we've actually
The one
got
who
2
raised up
movies
the
sitting on the
Rocky
shelf when
Mountains.
we shot this. When we had
One who
Clancy
wrote
was
the
written,
code for DNA
ready to
and
go,
design
the
language.
screenplay,
The one who made the
and
stars
one message had been
every
written at this
newborn
point
infant.
and was ready to go. Because remember,
And the one who loves you with no limitations.
and I think we'll see in one of these shots. Remember
It all
the
sounds
author
great,
of
but
the book One Message
God
that
just
we
doesn't drop in
adapted
on people, does he?
that movie from.
But what I'm
and
saying
she's
is
a
God
nun,
is infinitely
and another
more
nun
amazing
came up,
than
and
anything
we'll actually
anyone
see
has
them.
ever created.
They came up. We said, because they were in
But
Chicago,
if someone
which was
did
a little
want
bit
to touch
closer to
God,
here.
I mean, if there is a God,
And they drove down.
Yeah.
I said, we'll put you in a shot if you come down, and they did. They came
Yeah,
down
He's already
in their
done it.
habit. So it's kind of
He's reaching out
in
for
the
you.
later on in the third
That's the
act.
whole reason he became a person.
We'll see then.
maybe if I
Kind of
actually
spoiled,
sat
surprise
down
for
to dinner
everybody.
with
When it
Jesus,
actually happens,
yeah, you just
she did,
when it actually happens, there's no
then
time.
maybe
So
I could believe too.
they couldn't have stood sitting on
Faith
this
is a lot
plane.
so
easier.
yeah, so
You know.
we went from
And you really don't need for Jesus to show
we had
up
already
at
made the
dinner
Perfect
table.
Stranger, anything was going on, so we were already looking for our next
What you do
project,
need
and this one
is
kind of
whatever
came
it is keeping you from trusting.
as a surprise.
Like
Like I
what?
said, when we got that phone call.
Oh right, because we never had any intention of this one because we we didn't think we'd be able to have the rights.
And I do remember too, because we were very far along on Clancy, because I remember calling Shane and he had made a bunch of plans
You
to
really want to know what would keep me from
co-direct
trusting
or
God,
direct
wanting to make a
Clancy.
connection with him.
And I walked into his office and said, Shane, change the plans, and he kind of gave me one of these. What? I said, we're going to do a sequel to Perfect Stranger. It'll be great. He was like, I've done all this work
When I
for
was 16
Clancy.
years old,
Then he wound up not working on
I was
Clancy.
date raped at a
Oh
party.
yeah, he was doing other things by then.
This scene was gritty, and I've gone back and forth with it. To be honest with
It was
you,
homecoming.
because it wasn't in the novel, and something similar was, but it wasn't
After the game, there was a party at the
as
citizen's
graphically
house.
bad as this one.
One of the players,
And
he was a senior.
I
asked me if
remember
I'd go with
it
him.
wasn't in my
And I
screenplay,
was thrilled he even knew
and a
me.
friend of ours' daughter had actually gone through this, and for
The
some
music got really
reason,
loud, and he started
I
drinking.
used it in the screenplay.
And before I knew it, he
And
pulled me
I think
into
I
one of
added
the
it
bedrooms
really
upstairs.
late, talking about this date rape.
There were so many people there.
It just
none of
had so
them
much
even
weight with me. I
noticed
said
was
that'll
gone.
really give weight to the character and how much she's hurting and why she doesn't trust God.
The
But
only person I
I've
ever
always
told
wondered,
was
did I go
Tiffany,
too far?
And I made her swear not to tell
Did I
anyone.
not have to do something so bad?
Mom and Dad never found out.
Yeah, I'm still
They
unsettled
weren't
about that.
encouraged
And really, other than a crew member's mother,
The guy did the same
no one's
thing
ever
to another
said anything
girl.
one way or the
I
other.
was going to
about
say,
it. Yeah.
And she
surprisingly,
police
I
and
have
got
not
sent to jail.
heard anybody bring this scene up negative or
After I was
positive.
sure
And
I was
she did a great job with it. We didn't
I just
milk
didn't
it.
think about it anymore.
But it's just, I think I just want to say, well, just
Like it
not want to
never
go to church
happened.
with your mom. Everybody has that. I mean,
Right.
I wanted to give her something else, and I think in the novel,
How could I
the
ever
character
trust
had
God
been
to let that
abused
happen to
as
me?
a child. I think it was something along those lines. So I just took it up,
Right.
to a notch. And it is.
Sarah, what happened to you was horrible.
And the worst part, I'm not sure if I wrote a good enough.
Then why
Again,
didn't he stop
putting
it from happening?
words in Jesus' mouth. I'm not sure if it's as much that we talked about the subject, or I didn't do a good job
Tell me
of
this.
the answer. That's just stuck with me. I'm being totally honest. But again, nobody's ever brought it up. I'm not sure if you've even thought about
And
it.
the world would be a good place.
But nobody's ever brought it up to me, so I guess I'm just oversensitive about it.
In the grand scheme of things, this would just be deck chairs.
I
and
think
food
so,
tent.
because that is something in all these
I
years
don't
I've never
understand.
heard anyone
Yeah.
comment one way or the other.
Well, and that goes
But I
back.
think, again,
big
even
picture,
though that one's
things have to
huge,
happen in
everybody's
due
got
course of
something.
time.
Everybody's got something
God
big
knows.
that
Yeah.
keeps them, and that
And
can
I
still
agree.
relate to that,
I just think about people that were on the edge of their seat and say, "What's he going to say to
There's
this?"
nothing I can say
And
that
I'm
makes
not sure if
sense
I did a
or
good
take
job
away
with
your
that
pain.
as the screenwriter.
I can't
And again, that gets back into the
God is a
not
God.
100% comfortable putting words in
Restoring
Jesus'
people,
mouth.
returning them to a safe and loving relationship.
So that's why I try to maintain. Okay, this is fantasy.
One
This
day, the
is
evil of the world
what
will be done away
if. What would happen if this is going on? So.
And obviously, we all have to resolve
What about
those
the
kind
people
of
that do
things
the
for
evil
ourselves.
things?
Because a lot of it's responsibility when you go into this, and it's nothing we ever really took lightly. Because I said I did realize at a point on our movies like this, on the Perfect Stranger series, I said this may be the only Jesus some people have seen up to this point. This may be the only church our Perfect Stranger movies. Maybe the only church somebody goes to. So
because when mankind turns
that's a huge responsibility.
It sent itself reeling into a world of evil.
Well, it kind of goes back
Bringing
to the
people
first one
back
with
is a
Pam,
slow
where
person-by-person
with her dad,
process.
like, is that was that part of your plan?
Yeah.
For my dad to die when I was young.
Right.
That's why I'm saying that.
God knows.
Unfortunately, that's part of life that we all have
He knows
these
what it does to people.
things. And
I doubt that.
A lot of it
a
lot of it goes back to we're living in a broken world, and
is that what you really think?
It's God didn't cause it. It's the sin of the world that caused bad things to happen.
When people rejected God, it was incredibly painful for him. Imagine watching your own children fall into a well of darkness.
If it was so painful for him, then why didn't he do something to save us?
He did everything that could be done. Do you remember the window seat guy from the first plane?
How could I forget?
He talked about that movie, The Passion of the Christ. You saw it, right?
It's been a while, but yeah.
The torture that Jesus endured only makes sense if you realize that that was God taking the punishment for all people. He wanted to be reunited with him so much he was willing to die for them.
And getting back to what
good did it do?
What the theme
the
of this
is
why does God
want
a relationship with us? He's God. And that's what they broke down in the coffee shop, but
God
even more so, it's here, and it's like, when you don't look at God as a judge sitting on a cloud, you look at him and you think of him more as a father missing his children.
God dragging his feet.
That changes your perspective. That changes the way your ears hear things. Just, not that you're going to get converted overnight, join a Bible study, but just how you hear things.
Water? Nice. So this big reconnection happens, and then what?
The same thing you do in any relationship. You talk to each other.
I really think we took it a step further. I think the first movie got you to the door.
Part of it.
But anyone can pray.
And I think this one,
but
we moved the football just a little bit further along.
Like he supposedly did with
and
my
again,
mom.
I just keep thinking in my head, like you said, she's like, why did this have to happen? Why is this? But we all have those times,
So once you
when
become
everything's going great,
you can automatically
it's
hear
easy
God's
to
voice.
get sideswiped. But it's the things that break our hearts
Religion is
that
mostly an outward thing.
bring us closer a lot
Right.
of times.
Go there, don't go there. A person who can hear God's voice is someone who's been changed from the inside out.
Changed like how? Like attitude?
No, like a whole new spirit. God gives it to you when you connect with him because
And he
the
gets
old
into
spirit
too,
wouldn't work.
hearing his voice,
It
and
couldn't connect.
different
It
things
couldn't hear his
call him.
voice.
People call it the voice inside
We're
you,
talking
the little
audible voices here?
man, and
He doesn't need that.
but it's it's hearing God's voice.
Like what?
Like the small voice
It's
in
that.
conscience.
I know a lot of
Like
this.
his
A lot of this
written
came from
word.
the novel. I'm not going to take credit for
Remember that
any
piece
of
you read
this.
earlier?
What, that poem?
About
Right out of the Bible.
yeah.
I thought you said your father wrote it.
God
love
is my
that.
father.
Okay, she beautiful,
Okay.
perfect
That was
reaction.
great.
And that
Yeah.
poem came
She didn't
from
run the
Bible.
bathroom like her
Why so
dad
hard to
did, but
believe?
she.
Because
Yeah.
I always thought of the Bible as a rule book.
Rule book.
Yeah, that was a good.
Listen to this.
Yeah.
I have made myself one
Yeah,
spirit.
this
with
one
you.
goes deeper.
I
So we
nourish,
didn't
I
just shoot
cherish you.
Perfect Stranger
I give myself up
on an
for you.
airplane, like I said before.
I lay down my life for you. Does
And
that
the other,
sound
I
good to
think
you?
maybe Perfect Stranger was a
No,
little bit
it
more
sounds more like a
academic.
love letter.
Here's
You got it.
historically what happened, and we made the case.
people who
This
can
one
hear
is
God's
this
voice,
one's
this
the
is how he
emotion
speaks to you
side,
through his word.
of it.
That's how
Which
Jesus
the
was when he
two
was
really
on
go
earth.
hand in hand.
He
It's
was
the mind,
always
it's the
listening to his
mind and the
Father's voice.
heart coming
So
together.
real
So this
Christianity
this
is
is the
just
heart. This
Sitting
is
around
the
all
heart
day
movie.
listening to stuff?
Not quite. It's letting him love other people through you.
You can't stop thinking about that
It's
Hugh
knowing that you're
Jackman's
forgiven.
costume, can you?
Oh,
It's knowing that
no, that's not it.
You're
Got all kinds
accepted.
of stuff going through
I
my
was-
head, and then
No
I
matter
just
what,
keep
you
watching.
always have
I was going to do the
something
claws, but I thought,
Might be a little
that
much.
might
But what about
detract.
the
So we
people
didn't
that have
go
bad
with the
things happen to
claws.
them?
When people who have pain connect with God, they realize there's never been a moment that he's ever stopped loving them. And they know the day will come when he'll personally wipe away every tear and they'll never hurt again. And when they're with God and they feel his enormous love, the pain they once felt will seem like nothing.
What makes it enormous?
Because it's perfect.
Oh, that was a great payoff.
Yeah.
We throw perfect around so much. It's like, oh, that's the perfect hot dog, and oh, that's the perfect set of snow tires. It's like the
Perfect vacation.
perfect vacation. Everything kind of gets used, worked around there. I love this part how she kills time. She draw. I mean, this is right. This is out of my biography. How do I kill time, and how do I, what do I do? So,
I like this music too.
My good friend Chris Long helped with the drawings. Okay, we actually shot that on the wing of the airplane.
Love that shot.
Do you remember how we did the clouds?
Mm-hmm.
We had the camera set because it's supposed to be on the out, and you would see clouds. So we actually had our sound guy Stuart with a cigar, and he was standing in front of the window blowing puffs of smoke that would go between the camera and Sarah's window. So Hollywood magic.
Yeah, he got paid to sit and smoke a cigar. He was happy.
But my friend Chris Long, who is a wonderful artist, did, because Ruby is not per se an artist, so Chris did the drawings for us. And in fact, I think that was one of our producers, because Ruby got sick the last day of shooting, and I think Cassie Arza, our producer, had to put on her costume and do a lot of the insert shots. Yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready to commit to anything like my parents have, like my mom did 10 years ago. But all the stuff we've been talking
and
about.
here's all you can hope too, if you
what
do
exactly
have
do I do with
conversations
all
with
this?
people, that they'll start
Well, first you have to make a decision.
thinking about it.
Do you want to experience perfect love?
Tell me again, what is perfect love?
It's a love that's even greater than your parents have for you. Greater than you'll have for your own kids one day. Once you make that decision, he'll lead you through what happens next.
He's got her moved.
Good job, Chris.
So am I.
Yeah, Chris did that picture of me. She did the hair by memory because she did everything ahead of time. I just gave her a photo of me. I said, "Here's what my hair is going to look like," and she just kind of had to imagine. Of course, we had like 5 or 6 different drawings that were like in different stages to do the progression of time. I've still got that picture. I think it's hanging on her wall.
Oh, it is.
In
I love
Kentucky, yeah.
I really don't have what it takes.
But she had to imagine. I said,
I'm sure
"I'm
come
gonna have long
fall,
curly
I'll be
hair if you
taking
can."
sculpture class at Deerfield Community College.
So yeah, so we're kind of led on that Sarah didn't expect to get into this prestigious art school that,
Oh yeah, that she thinks she might.
she was
end
just
up in
using the
community
time
to get away.
Another foreign language alert.
All right.
Czy mogę pani pomóc?
Tak, bardzo proszę.
Oh, Joanna.
That's our friend Aja, and there is Sister Mary,
Dziękuję
Lennox right
bardzo.
behind her.
Proszę bardzo.
That is Sister Mary, the nun that drove down from Chicago, and then Joanna really is she is from Poland. She is a good friend of
What do you
ours.
mean all of them?
And I speak a little Polish, but I said,
Say
give me
something in
this
Chinese.
phrase, and let's do
Mandarin,
this. We
please.
kind of did the same thing we did with Shanta.
Whichever.
Shangdi, I need.
There's my little bit of Chinese that I learned from our friend
Nobody can
Jen.
speak every language.
I can't.
I love that. Nobody can
I've had
speak
a lot
every
of time to
language.
work on it.
Yeah, the
I
clues are
just wanna
coming
really
fast and
survive.
furious now. There's the supermodel.
Yeah. I guess so.
And
Love
I'm
kids
going
on
to give
this
some
flight.
very serious thought to, listening.
Do you want to practice?
Huh?
Ruby's Hanas are classic.
Check your messages when you get to the terminal. And try and stay awake during art history.
What? What in the world are you talking about?
That was fun.
Yeah.
I did write that part. Oh, and here we have the scar effect again. And we really stepped it up this time from the first movie. We really worked with some special effects stuff, because I really wanted that to look like a puncture wound, no doubt about it.
And he says the line again. Until next time.
Yeah, same line.
I love that.
Wait, what did you...
I really want this to look like he's not there anymore, but I think he's had time to get out. So there's Juliana Allen, her first time with us.
Oh, and her son just walked by.
Yeah, and she went on to say, in fact, she was going to play Nikki down the road. Love walking down memory lane with all this. So we were actually in Portland. You and I traveled to Portland because we were shooting some B-roll there and doing some interviews. So that actually was Portland Airport, but you and I were the only crew members at that point. This is Louisville Airport.
I get dizzy.
Yeah, again.
It's
again,
in
we're
Portland,
back
we're
here.
Chicago, it's
Yeah.
Louisville.
Well, they just gave us more freedom to shoot where we needed to in the open areas. And
Hey, Steph, it's
Well,
me.
that's where
Just
most of our
landed.
yeah, so,
I don't know, it's just a regular airport.
but it's
Yeah,
amazing we
check
got
my
any
messages
useful
and then
sound
grab
out of this place. I know we're on a boom mic.
Check my messages.
She remembers she's supposed to
Hey, Steph,
check
can I call
her
right back?
messages. So.
Goodbye.
Yeah, ignore the flip phone. But the people walking closest to her are our background.
Yes.
But this was the biggest shot we got here because we had to set up dolly track. This is a dolly shot in a circular track we had to lay down.
I'm so happy for her.
So she is really, now he's an actor, that's Jay, but this all took place, it's an act, flights are going out and people are there, they just had to watch the action.
Yeah, they're going.
Anybody that walks by the camera though is one of our people, that's one of our background people.
I love that, where she just grabs him.
Yeah, I remember when I showed our director, co-director, the first cut, he said he got kind of emotional during this part.
Oh, me too.
When she starts recollecting all the things he said, she's putting things together.
How many languages do you speak?
All of them. God is my Father.
And then, putting that together. So I'm glad we got such a great shot of that. We did such a good job with it. But you remember this one again, it's the same thing. We have a dolly track that's the length, because the camera was on wheels and on a wagon. So we have a dolly track that's the length of the corridor. So, people are at the checkout, at the ticket counter and at the gift shop and whatnot. And,
we're gonna uncheck. Oh. Sorry.
Kelly needs Kleenex at least once. So yeah, this is all. So the shot coming down here, and these were all complicated shots. The push in, that was from a dolly.
Yeah, that also a lot harder than
Yeah,
it looks.
great music here.
You need a cab?
So our friend Mikhail
Yeah, just let me go grab
got to put on the Hugh Jackman costume.
The white zone is for loading and unloading only.
It wasn't him. All the action, yeah, it wasn't him. So we're using a real baggage claim. There's Jerry Wallace again. So in the story, we're in Portland now. But
right, where the art school is.
yeah, but the insert you saw, we really did shoot in Portland. I mean, that really, I personally shot this from a building across the street.
Oh yeah.
That's our cab back in Louisville. We got a cab for the day. Oh, and here comes our Kelly.
Hi, welcome to the Hairston. My name is Kelly. Are you here to check in?
Yeah.
Come on.
And what's the name on the reservation?
And that's the first appearance of Patty Robinson.
All right, Miss Kaminsky, I have you
Patty
down for a
Crawford.
single room.
I was gonna say,
non-smoking for
since we-
$2 nights.
And again,
You
she
have a
was
choice of
gonna
the first
stay with
floor
us for
by
a
the
while
pool or
after
the
this
third
movie,
floor off
too.
the atrium.
Oh yeah, she does some great stuff.
Pool. No, atrium. Atrium.
Atrium it is.
She switches rooms. That was a hotel in Louisville. It was great to us. I remember it was a really small hotel room.
Oh yeah, it was hard getting everything in there.
So she tried to find him and thought she'd missed her chance and she'd never see him again. And
My sheep hear my voice. and I know them, and they follow me, and I give them eternal life.
So I wasn't really trying to create a theme, but there was like Nikki at the end when she read the passage in her movie. Are you crying? Are you crying again? You can't cry during all these movies. We've got a lot to get through. But then, I love how we button this back up. I love how we button this back up, and I think I know I wrote this scene. If this was not in the novel. Is he Chris's drawing? But no, let's just listen because it just ties everything together.
Hey, it's me. Yeah, I got here just fine. Listen, I've got to tell you about the day I just had. I think I may have met an old friend of yours.
I love that.
Oh.
That's great.
Yeah, that was just great. So, yeah.
And I do love just like her mom where she reads the scripture at the end.
Yeah, the way we pulled it up. And Ruby did it,
she did great.
Applause for Ruby. You're associate producer then, so yeah.
Oh, it's so funny because
you're working your way up the ladder.
You look back at some of these like that with, the shots in the airport and the coffee shop and all that, and you go, oh my gosh. I mean, that was just a lot to undertake.
We thought the first one was a big movie because we had, a couple of times we had to fill the restaurant up when we were responsible for a lot of people.
Yeah,
but this was
big.
This was a lot of people, and everybody was moving parts. I mean, we really grew up as a production company on this one because we both had to learn. Okay, I can't have my hands on 100% of things. I've really got to. Christina, she was still Christina Browder back then. She took on a stage name. She's Christina Karras now. But yeah, we really had to step things up. As of course, we had more budget on this one to work with, which good thing, because it was more expensive than the first one.
The amazing generosity of our church and all those people.
Yeah, again, even though we had a lot of things we had a little bit more funds to do some more things. You had to. That doesn't do it. Money doesn't just get you there.
The people that traveled to be on the plane.
Yeah, it was a heartfelt compassion.
That was a big commitment for
again, everybody got paid, but nobody got rich. That's the thing. So, a lot of people did it just because they wanted to see this kind of movie get made. And
some more good music.
And yeah, so our sound guy's brother did this. So we'll just kind of wrap things up here. So this was Another Perfect Stranger, based on the novel A Day with a Perfect Stranger, written by David Gregory. Just going through this cast list here, it's like that we had a lot of people. Everybody wonderful. We all got along. We don't have any prima donnas. We don't have any. If we do get people like that, they don't last long. We don't dare. They don't get asked back. That's just it. It's like, thanks for being here. That's so great. Best of everything to you. And I tell you, with this, it helps to go to a large church a church of 20,000 members because we just put out a lot of feelers to get so many people. And there's our wonderful crew. So many of these people were with us for so many different, and that's unusual to keep the same crew. We would keep them for several years after that, at least our core. Yeah. So my mom, Betty Gilmore, she was the one that found Ruby for us, and she helped us out. We get a credit all the time, dialect coach. But it was fun. We shot.
Security.
We did the most traveling, so our locations were Louisville, Chicago, Portland, Indiana. So just our travel miles, as much as anything, were there. So anyway, thanks for watching another installment. We're not going to go through all the credits like this. We're going to give you a break here. Kelly, anything else you want to add to this?
Steven. I couldn't think of Steven.
Steven McWhirter.
That's
doing
a great
the music
song.
you hear.
Excellent.
And we're going to get off here and let you listen to the rest of it. So thanks for watching. Kelly and Jefferson watch their own movies, and we'll see you for the next one with Stranger Series. So thanks for watching.